been over 3 years since I set foot in that place, and I still haven't wrapped my head around what happened that night. Some stories never settle. They grow heavier with time, like dust, collecting on something you know you should throw away, but can't. Back in the late 80s, I took a break from the city's chaos and wandered into a quiet, off-the-map village, tucked between mountains and thick woods. The air was cleaner than anything I'd breathed in years. I didn't go looking for trouble, but trouble finds people like me. Always has. There was an old house on the northern edge of town. Everyone in the village avoided it, as if it carried a curse. When I asked the locals about it, they lowered their voices, as if the house could hear them from a mile away.
No one lives there.
One man told me, eyes darting towards the tree line. The caretaker stays in a separate hut nearby. The owner is a professor in Canada. Bought the place long ago, but never came back. I pressed on, curiosity already gnawing at my gut. Mind if I take a look inside? The caretaker, an older man with eyes that looked like they'd seen more than they should, didn't ask questions when I approached him.
You can go in.
He said, handing me the key.
But I won't go with you.
He wouldn't even step onto the porch. I wasn't alone. My friend Alex had joined me on the trip, and he was the only person crazy enough to tag along for this stunt. We weren't planning on going in at night. That just happened. It was 11:45 p.m. when we pushed open that rusting door. The air inside felt wrong, heavy, charged, like walking into a room where someone had been screaming just seconds before you arrived. I brushed it off. Maybe my blood pressure was up. Perhaps I hadn't eaten enough. Logical reasons. The house was 2 stories tall, but only 2 rooms were usable. One beside the kitchen on the first floor, and another directly above it. No furniture, just planks of old wood, and the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. I noticed something odd from the start. When we entered, the caretaker had unlocked the door. But when I asked if he was coming in, he turned his back on me. He didn't even answer. He just left. That alone should have told me everything I needed to know. Inside, Alex and I split up. He stayed on the first floor, while I took the second. We both carried walkie-talkies and joked about using them like we were in some bad horror film. Then the sound came. At first, it was faint, like a cat's cry, but warped, human-like. The kind of sound that sinks straight into your spine. It came and went, like someone squeezing a mewling throat and then letting go. We both heard it. We searched the building, room to room, until we heard it again, this time from the roof. We ran up, nothing. Then a crash came from below. We rushed down, still nothing. I returned to the room upstairs. There had been a closet I couldn't open earlier. Now, the door hung slightly ajar. I told myself the old wood must have loosened on its own. Old buildings make sounds, right? But the air was thicker now. My head throbbed. It felt like a fever. Not quite illness, not quite fear. Something deeper, something unnatural. Alex and I swapped places again. He headed down to the kitchen area. I joked through the walkie. I didn't finish the sentence. Behind me, a thunderous Fash! Like something had been slammed into the floor, right at my heels. I spun around. Nothing there. Alex ran up, pale and breathless. His face mirrored mine. Shock, confusion, a shared realization. Something was very wrong here. The next 30 minutes felt like a fever dream. Not ghost sightings, nothing that cliched, but twisted things. Angles that didn't belong in normal architecture. Doorways that led to walls. Symbols faintly etched in the wood that looked eerily similar to South American ritual markings I'd seen in old anthropology books, ones associated with dark worship. What were they doing in a small house in rural nowhere? By 2:45 a.m., we'd had enough. We bolted. Back at the hotel, Alex fell violently ill. He vomited non-stop. I passed out and didn't wake until noon the next day, drenched in sweat and burning at 102 degrees. We both chalked it up to something in the air. Maybe mold, maybe gas, something explainable. We didn't review the footage we'd captured that night. Not then. We couldn't stomach it. It stayed buried in a box, silent, waiting. A year and a half later, I finally watched it. I wish I hadn't. Right at the moment that bone-rattling sound had struck behind me, my handheld camera, pointed downward, caught something. A small object, maybe the size of a matchbox, flew from one corner of the floor, rose upward to the ceiling, and then landed right beside my head. No hands, no wires, no logical source, just physics breaking. I played it back over and over, sent it to people smarter than me, physicists, editors, skeptics. Every one of them gave me the same answer. We can't explain that. And still, even now, I'm not sure what haunts me more. That house? Or the fact that something in this world doesn't follow our rules. Not everything can be explained, and perhaps some places should remain empty.